You must watch this episode if you are an evil genius determined to rule the world by commanding a volcano to explode. The explanation provided by volcanologist Erik Klemetti on why all prior attempts by evil geniuses to cause volcanoes to erupt will be featured in today's video. In the past, a variety of unrelated ideas came together in the genius's head. First, he discussed what geologists know about the causes of volcanic eruptions for a week in his Petrology and Volcanology class at Denison. In addition, he was questioned about Richard Branson's April Fool's joke regarding the purported Virgin Volcanic, which would send a manned submersible into a volcano. When you combine these two concepts, a person would start to wonder if it's possible to intentionally cause a volcano to erupt. The notion that humans might be able to find a way to cause a volcano that isn't erupting has long been the stuff of science fiction and conspiracy theorists for decades. Most often, this is in the hands of evil scientists or lunatics who are bent on gaining control of the world or making a desperate attempt to protect the planet or something. How can we make volcanoes erupt? In the vast majority of fictional attempts, a large explosive device is placed inside a volcano, and when it explodes, the volcano erupts. Typically, for the plan to succeed, the bomb must be dropped far into the volcano, which is schematically represented as the big vat of magma that doesn't exist. The theory is that the magma explosion will fuel the volcanic eruption. Nobody has ever actually tried this, although we have bombed lava flows in the past without success. The genius also heard claims that simply drilling into a volcano could trigger an eruption by releasing the pressure building inside the volcano, but this kind of thing occurs frequently with little to no negative repercussions. It's interesting to note that both of these concepts are also put forth to prevent a volcano from erupting once again, primarily by reducing the pressure inside the volcano or preventing the magma from rising to the surface. What's the reason for volcanoes erupting in the first place? When it comes to igniting a volcanic eruption, pressure, or more specifically, a drop in pressure, is the main key. A volcano can be conceptualized more simply as a champagne bottle with a cork. The champagne bubbles will stay in solution if the cork is left in place. But when you take out the cork, all the carbon dioxide that has been dissolved leaves the solution, and bubbles start to appear. If you quickly release the pressure, the bubbles will form so quickly that the bottle will pop. Essentially, that's what takes place when a volcano erupts violently. We refer to the pressure that is released as lithostatic pressure, which is the pressure brought on by all the rocks that are above the magma. It only takes 10 kilometers of the Earth's atmosphere to create 1 atmosphere pressure, which is what we experience at sea level, so the lithostatic pressure in the Earth rises quite quickly. To exert the same force, only 4.4 meters of rock must be above you. You can pop the cork by releasing enough of that lithostatic pressure. The champagne bottle's fume is the ash plume. The addition of outside water is another way to cause a magma to erupt, usually explosively. The explosive mixing of magma and water can be self-sustaining, which means that the explosive eruption will continue to spread until the supply of water or magma runs out if the proper ratio of water to magma is present. However, too much water will solidify too much of the magma, while too little water will likely prevent the explosive mix from continuing. Now, how can you trigger a volcano to erupt? There are numerous hypotheses as to what might cause a volcano to erupt. Some are as straightforward as the buoyancy of magma, which rises because it is less dense than the nearby rock until it intersects the surface. If you want a violent volcanic eruption, you need to create a lot of bubbles. You can do this by decompressing the magma, which will force gases out of solution, crystallizing minerals to concentrate water and volatiles in the remaining magma, heating the magma with a fresh intrusion, or any combination of these three. There are plenty of ways to release pressure, such as when the roof above the magma body collapses. A volcanic landslide is a great way to do it. When the magma rises buoyantly, or through other, less common processes like glacier melting, likely too slowly a process to trigger a specific eruption, excessive precipitation to erode the volcano, changes in atmospheric pressure, or perhaps even earth tides brought on by the pull of the sun and moon. After creating bubbles, you must direct them toward the top of the magma body, perhaps by causing an earthquake. To visualize this, imagine shaking an open soda bottle with bubbles on the side. They all rise to the top. A volcano that is primed to erupt, or one that has eruptible magma and only needs to be tipped into erupting, is however likely required in each of these scenarios. With this knowledge, you can attempt to cause a volcano to erupt by doing the following things. Locate a volcano that is already displaying signs of magma intrusion at shallow depths. Find a way to relieve the lithostatic pressure while keeping the volcano's cork in place so that bubbles can form. And finally, determine a quick, but not too quick, way to get a lot of water into the volcano. Sounds like quite a lot of hard work. It was too bad that reality didn't work like those cartoons where you only need to shoot a few times to activate the volcano. The genius sighed as he devised his plan. So how could this be possible for him? He must first locate a volcano that is about to erupt, one that doesn't erupt often enough for pressure to not just be building, but actually be erupting. He chooses Santorini in the Aegean Sea as an example of a volcano that is currently exhibiting signs of unrest and likely has a sizable amount of eruptive magma. He will also have quick access to water, which is a bonus. If magma is rising beneath the volcano, he wants to cause a catastrophic release of the rocks above it in order to create bubbles in the magma. He also wants to introduce water into the magma chamber in order to increase explosivity by concentrating the pressure. But it's much easier said than done. One tactic would be to remove a portion of the land surface above the magma body using a process similar to mountaintop removal mining. This, however, takes time. What evil genius holds the world hostage while slowly removing truckloads or boatloads of material? To remove the land surface quickly, you'd likely need high explosive charges buried just below the surface. The objective is to quickly remove material, so a large number of them would need to be placed in a grid across the volcano. Those explosives should now serve a dual purpose because as more bubbles are created as a result of the pressure release, the shaking caused by the explosions may shake bubbles in the magma free. The roof above the magma body may give way if the pressure is high enough, allowing for a quick decompression. If you wanted to make it more entertaining, the cracks that had been created should have allowed seawater to percolate into the magma and speed up the explosion. But the genius was stumped by one particular problem. Time was the issue. Yes, he could do all of these things, but one aspect of volcanology that is difficult to predict is the interval between an eruption's precursors and its actual eruption. In some instances, it appears to take only a few seconds, as with the Mount St. Helens earthquake and landslide that precipitated the eruption in 1980. As some volcanoes in Chile seem to suggest, in certain instances it could take months or even a year to occur after significant earthquakes. Therefore, you could go through all the trouble for nothing since you really have no way to control when the volcano erupts. There's even a chance the volcano won't erupt at all. Even choosing the perfect volcano that is ready to erupt might not work in this case, and all of your efforts might actually prevent an eruption from occurring. All of this merely demonstrates how little we understand regarding the precise processes that can result in a specific volcanic eruption. Instead of commanding Yellowstone to erupt at your whim, you'd have a better chance of guiding an asteroid into the planet. The evil side, thinking it was a pity, crossing hold the world at gunpoint while I trigger a volcanic eruption off his summer bucket list. Did this catch your interest? Please subscribe to Weather Collapse if you want to know more and be updated on the latest news about natural calamities or disasters happening all over the world, and don't forget to like today's video. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.